Hey, guess what?
What?
If you didn't know, the Super Bowl is this weekend.
No.
If you didn't know, yeah.
Fooling.
Yeah, actually it is. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles will take on the New England Patriots in Minneapolis.
Yeah, big game for sure. While the game or even the ads might be the main event, the food, folks, the food is half the fun, am I right? But with large groups of folks reaching for those shared dips and those shared foods, the threat of foodborne illnesses is pretty darn high.
Yeah, it really is. Getting you more this morning is Tanya Brown, a food safety expert with the USDA. Tanya, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So what is the #1 thing that people need to know before they hit these Super Bowl parties?
The #1 thing that they need to know is that you should not keep your food hanging out all day long. A lot of people have the pre-parties, the actual party, and the post-party, and it's the same food sitting out all day long. You don't want that food sitting out past 2 hours. You either want to keep it in chafing dishes, crock pots, warming plates, and you want to keep those dips and those sauces on beds of ice, because any type of food that sits out past the 2-hour mark can gain more bacteria. And then if your guests eat it, they get sick, and you don't want that.
Yeah, and at Super Bowl parties, there's a whole plethora of food. You got the wings and the nachos and the dips and everything like that. Is there one
Yes.
that kind of has a higher risk over another when it comes to bearing foodborne illnesses?
There's not one that has a higher risk over the other. However, food that is cooked, like the 1.3 billion chicken wings that will be consumed this Super Bowl Sunday, if people are cooking them, you want to make sure that they're cooked to the correct internal temperature, which is 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And when you cook them, you want to check more than just one wing. You want to find the thickest part of the wing and make sure that that registers at 165. If all of them that you've checked do not register, at least 3 or 4 that you've checked do not register at that temperature, you want to make sure that you put them all back and then turn around and check them in a few more minutes.
Say you're somebody who just wants to play it safe and says, like, you know, I want to look for the best foods here where there's no risk. I know that you can't really eliminate the risk, but what are your safest foods, would you say?
Well, there is no one safe food. The best thing to do is just to follow the 4 steps to food safety, and that's clean, separate, cook, and chill. Just make sure your hands are washed and your utensils are clean prior to cooking. You can also leave hand sanitizer and moist towelettes on your buffet so that your guests can have a place to wash their hands or at least sanitize their hands. You want to separate and keep your raw fruits and vegetables separate from your already prepared foods to avoid cross-contamination. And of course, cook. You want to use that food thermometer to make sure that the bacteria is killed and that food is cooked to the correct internal temperature. And once again, the chill step, don't leave food hanging out past the 2-hour mark. Either keep it already hot, keep hot foods hot, or cold foods cold, or just keep half of it in your oven if you don't have warming dishes. And then around halftime, which is the 2-hour mark, just swap it out.
What about more information? If folks are watching right now, they have some questions to ask, where can they go to get additional information?
They can actually call our hotline Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and that's 1-888-MP-HOTLINE. That's 888-674-6854. Or they could go onto foodsafety.gov and get a plethora of information.
There we go.
Sounds good. Tanya, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good info there and something
Yeah.
to keep in mind. You keep in your back pocket this
Want to
weekend.
stay healthy, especially during flu season. and
Yeah,
everything like that.
yeah,
Gee
absolutely.
whiz.
Well, the more than 66